how do you feel while singing? What's the main strength of your voice? What's the most important aspect of your voice?
Well, for me personally, singing is very important to be, you know, grounded in my body. I cannot. I don't like when my voice is sort of like out of my body. Mm-hmm. So this unity of body and singing is really very vital. It's like I don't know. It's like when you do karate or kung fu or something like that. You know, there's some sort of a body, spirit, mind thing, you know, going on, and so it's something that you develop over years. It's not something that you just have like this. Mm-hmm. It's something that needs to mature. I've been sometimes, you know, I'm now 43, and actually I was when I was younger, in my 20s, I had much more problems getting my voice into my body and everything. Mm-hmm. You know, it was still a struggle and a way towards hopefully something better. And now that I'm older, I feel more comfortable mm-hmm. with my voice and my body, and so the interesting thing is, I think, for a singer is that you start to become interesting when you get older, not when you are young, you know, and that's so contradictory to nowadays when people are chasing beauty and being young and looking good and so on, but I actually find my life more interesting now when I'm getting older. I would never want to become younger, because when I was a teenager, my life was horrible.
Oh, why?
It was terrible, and I was very unhappy about many things. And also the way I was singing around my 20s, I was never really happy. But now I'm starting to be more relaxed about it, and I find my way that I like. And so this is much more enjoyable.
That's fantastic. And yes, how did you develop that? How did you find that way to?
Well, because you see, the thing is that you know, I mean, I grew up in the opera world, and you know, my mother was an opera singer, my aunt was an opera singer, my father is a conductor. And I when I was 2, 3, 4 years old, I was every day in opera house. And so I was watching all these old divas and young singers and aspiring singers and singers who lost their voice and all kind of tragedies, you know. And one thing that I have noticed is that those singers who have managed to, you know, to survive all the crises and managed to keep a good voice hygiene right up until a quite old age were the most fascinating singers on stage. Mm-hmm. They had something to tell that was very interesting, and I was very impressed by that, because it gave me the assurance that actually singing is not something that you do like pop music. You know, you're just now and you all of a sudden become mm-hmm. famous, and then that's the joy of the life, you know. But singing is more like a way, you know, the exploration of your inner psyche, and I have experienced many times that voice and the body reacts to your mind very, very strongly, mm-hmm. and that means that you always have to sort of like come to a point in your life where you say, okay, I need to clean up some psychological things in mm-hmm. myself. There is an issue. I feel that. So, you know, that needs some work. And it is more of a mental work as the years go by, the singing, and less of like getting up and, you know, doing the voice thing, you know, because the voice is really just a mental expression in the end, you know.
And that's very interesting. So the case is to find a balance.
Yes, it is actually finding the balance, and that's actually the question of art in life, you know. Yeah. It's like you have to find, you have to reconcile yourself with what whoever has created you, you know, your
And
spirit,
your
your God, or whatever, you know, you have to find your middle, and you have to really go for that. And often the thing is that you know, in life we have so many desires, we have so many things that we think we want to do, but then it doesn't work out, and then I sometimes go back and I think, well, actually it's better, you know, because sometimes, you know, you wish things and then actually you are not ready to sacrifice something for whatever you wish, you know, and maybe another way is much better, but it doesn't seem so evident right at the first point, you know. And so, I mean, about my career, when I started, I was starting first with my solo albums, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I was trying to make like a big soloist career. And then it was not really something terribly successful. It was successful, but I was not like super mediatized, you know. And then my first opera production, because I was like, I want to do an opera production, and so I produced Faramondore by Handel, and this was like an enormous success. And then I came up with Farnace by Vivaldi, then I did Artaserse by Vinci, which was like even a more huge success. And now I'm since more than 10 years actually specialized in Neapolitan opera. And this is my life. This has become really like my way, my path, and I'm sort of like very happy to do that, because I'm starting next year a Baroque opera festival in Bayreuth. I've been nominated new artistic director, and so we are going to have staged rare Baroque operas in the original 18th century theater in Bayreuth that was built in 1748. And I'm planning to present Carlo il Calvo by Porpora and also Gismondo Re di Polonia in a staged version there.
Oh, that's so good.
So this is something that I'm very passionate about. You see, I'm very passionate about doing all of these completely forgotten Baroque operas, and that's sort of like my way, you know. But I didn't know that at the beginning. It just happened to become more and more, and then now when I think, I really enjoy much more this way than doing like only a soloist career.
Yeah. And when we are speaking about young people and more mature people, nowadays I think that there is a huge fashion for countertenors. There are more and more countertenors, of course, these young stars.
I think it's good that there are more and more countertenors, because you see in the 90s, when I was still singing as a soprano, there were maybe 2, 3 of them that were singing, and not a lot really that were making a career with that type of voice. And people virtually could not distinguish between a good and a bad countertenor, you know. Now that there are more, I think what is good is that people are starting to have more of a criteria. They start to distinguish, he's good, he's bad. And so I think that's a very good thing, you know. I think it's really it helps a lot.
So you are not jealous about them?
No, of course not, because like this people can distinguish what is good and what is bad. I think that it's much better. I mean, what shall say sopranos or tenors or basses? I mean, they have hundreds of thousands of concurrents, and still we know that there are only a few that are really good, and most of them are like this, and a lot of them are not good. So, you know, that's how it is. But with countertenors, there was no criteria, you know. People don't know, and they haven't heard a lot, so they think, and a lot of people develop then a prejudice, and they say, oh, I don't like the voice of countertenors, they all sound so horrible, but I like your voice. And it's like, no, don't say that. It's terrible. No, no.
So now it's better. People are more conscious. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's important. I think it's important that people are more conscious about you know, that artistic form, and that they can distinguish the quality of it.
And for the end, coming back to your collaboration with Martyna Pastuszka and historical orchestra, I've heard that there is a plan for a CD with Gismondo.
Exactly, we have already recorded that CD, and we are in preparation of releasing it. So that will be also soon to come, and I really hope that that people will like it a lot. We have, as I said, also this staged production that I am planning to transmit worldwide to about more than 50 million spectators, because we're having a collaboration and partnership with Mezzo TV and with Arte Concert, and so with the big TV channels, this piece will be certainly a new discovery.
So that's very good news for our audience in Poland and, and international audience too. Thank you so much for the interview.